Hey guys, it's Matt the Woodshed Barber, and today we're talking about the TPOB
X gon' give it to you.
So guys, I'm not going to try to waste your time too much with this one. Metal body, small, wonderful feel to it. Let's talk about the power.
Pop the hood. 2JZ engine, no shit.
So guys, this trimmer has a 7200 RPM brushless motor that, for one, is very quiet. I mean, just to show you how quiet. There's the X. Here's the Saber. Now the Saber is still a little bit quieter, but this sounds like it's got a whole lot more juice to it, if you know what I mean. I mean, a lot more power. So 7200 RPM motor. This thing is a beast. It goes through everything easy. Does detail work easy, lines up easy, debulks, balds out. This thing is plenty powerful. And as we've seen, it seems like with trimmers, the sweet spot is 7200 RPMs. It makes me wonder if maybe like Stylecraft should have, with the Evo, dialed that back a bit from that 10,000 RPMs. Because this is just, it's a sweet spot of power. It's not too much overkill, but God, does this thing move. So not only does it have that wonderful sound to it, and have all that power, it's got 3 hours of runtime. I mean, this thing is a legit monster. So power-wise for this trimmer, it's a 10 out of 10.
You're in dire need of an upgrade. Systemic, top to bottom, 100-point restoration.
So the design on the TPOB X, I'll go ahead and say this. Since over the past little while that I've been reviewing these trimmers, getting new tools all the time, it's been a progression, and it kind of gets old. I'm not gonna lie. It gets, because you think you found your new favorite trimmer, and then you try out another one, and that becomes your new favorite trimmer, and you're like, okay, I'm sold on this one, and the next one comes. But it's a repetitive thing. The next one becomes your next favorite trimmer. So I went from the detail. I was using the detailer for a while. I was kind of old school, and then I'd never really liked the feel of the Babyliss classic flashlight handled trimmers. So then I went from that to the Low Pro, and that became my favorite. And then I used the FX3, that became my favorite. And then I used the Saber, and that became my favorite. But guys, it doesn't beat the Saber on everything, but I will say design wise, this is my favorite. This is absolutely my favorite. It's the perfect size, the way it grips, this curve right there. I find myself constantly putting my finger there whenever I'm doing any kind of sculpting, or my thumb whenever I do it. I mean, it's just a well-shaped clipper. It's got that little thumb indentation right there, and yes, I know some people think it's ugly, but I got my black, my little black thing on there. But the shape of this thing, the fact that it's got a stationary metal hook, I love that. The FX3 that I have, I do like the fact that I can hang it up since it does not come with a base. Once again, neither does this one, but I'll get to that. But one thing I noticed is that whenever I'd have it on, and because I had that little metal hoop on there for hanging it, it would rattle. And so I was like, wait a minute, what's that? Why is it rattling? Is there hair stuck in the blade? What's going on? So I took that little hook off and the rattle stopped. Having it just built in like this right here, it's genius. It's wonderful. We shouldn't think it's genius. I mean, Wall did that forever, but this is a well-designed tool. Now I know that a lot of other tools resemble this one. I know that. Design-wise, guys, this thing is just killer. I mean, it handles great. It's a nice weight. I've honestly, since I got it, I've only used the Saber a couple of times. And honestly, I don't think I've touched a Babyliss. It's just, this thing is a beast. And so it does not come with a charging base. Once again, that sucks. However, you guys should know why that is such a sticking thing for me. Whenever you're buying Babyliss tools, which, I mean, I bring up Babyliss because they're the biggest offender of this. But whenever I bring up Babyliss tools and why they do not come with a charging base, the main reason I bring that up is because the price we're paying for those tools. I mean, $220 for a Influencer Edition FX, no base. $280 for a trimmer, no base. That kind of price for not having a complete experience, that's kind of what bugs me about that. Now, with this, and we'll get to that in a minute about one of the best perks of this trimmer, I can forgive it some. For one thing, having the hook there, easy to hang. I only have a couple cords on my station that I actually ever have to grab, especially whenever I'm testing out new tools. So this one, it plugs up quick and easy, and the 3-hour charge time helps with that. Now, would I prefer a base? Of course I would. But that aside, it's a very well-designed trimmer. And right now, to handle, it's my favorite. So, design, guys, 10 out of 10. The blade. That Psycho blade is just, it's wonderful. The way it cuts through hair, the way it mows through, the way it puts in nice lines. The only thing I will say is, I think that, so I put it on the Troll trimmer, and it definitely made it cut better, but I wasn't over the moon about it. But on this trimmer, man, like, come on, guys. This thing, it's ridiculous how good it is. Now, I will say this. As far as comfort goes, I think that the pairing of the X Pro blade on the Saber is just the slightest bit better. Just a little bit better. So because of that, I will say that I have to give the blade on this a 9.9. I'm not going to say it's a 10 just because there is a blade that, in my opinion, is better, and that's on the Saber. But that Psycho blade, guys, I mean, it's... And here's another perk of it, though. With this one, you've got to take it off to adjust it. This adjusts exactly like the Babyliss does. Those little screws right there. So, you know what? Because of that, and because it's that good, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 for the blade.
Because the way that my bank account is set up, the thing is, I got a checking in the savings, but all my money is in the savings. I don't think my card is going to go through.
So cost-wise, now, this is where everything changes. This is where the excuse for the not having a charging dock, all that changes. Because, yeah, it's a premium built clipper. It's a premium built trimmer. Premium. I mean, the moment it's in your hand, you're like, whoa, okay, nice. That, along the fact that it comes with such a good blade, very nice. This thing is $100. The only thing that this right here, the Saber, has on this one, and the overall viewpoint of this trimmer, is the fact that the blade is the slightest bit better when it comes to comfort. And it comes with the charging dock. However, $180, $100. Now, the reason I forgive it with this is if this trimmer cost $170, I'd be like, come on, man, what does it take to just design, build a charging base that this thing just falls into, include that in there? But the fact that it's $100, that's very forgivable. That's very forgivable. Because, I mean, am I thinking that a charging base is worth $80? No, not at all. And honestly, I wouldn't rip on Babyliss so much if their tools didn't cost so much. Like if the Babyliss, and that's why I talked about that sale, that sale that I saw, because if they would put their regular FX clipper if it stayed around 130, 140, I wouldn't make a big deal about not having a charging base. But whenever they start off at like 200, 220, come on, what are you doing? So $100 for this, this is a must grab, cost wise, guys. Must grab. Price wise, guys, it's 10 out of 10.
They've done studies, 60% of the time it works every time.
Like I said, guys, it goes through everything. It goes through everything, does everything perfectly. The blade, and I already dinged it a little bit as far as the comfort compared to the Sabre. But honestly, I think it does better than my FX3. I think it does better than my Low Pro FX. This thing is monstrous. And because of the way it handles, I mean, I'm picking it up more. So as far as performance goes, it does everything you want it to do. Nice, clean lines, easy to adjust blade, crazy amounts of power. Performance-wise, it's a 10 out of 10. So my final thoughts on this trimmer. I'll go ahead and say it. It's my favorite trimmer right now. And it's not always that whenever I'm reviewing these tools do they actually take a place in my permanent arsenal. This one absolutely does. This is probably bumping out my Low Pro. So I still like the FX3 and I'll use it more. I still love the Sabre and I will use it. But whenever it comes to the one I grab the most, right now it's this one, guys. Whenever you take the build of it, the quality of it, the way it feels in the hand, the power that you feel in the hand whenever you turn it on. And guys, that's one thing. Like, you have to get this to feel that. I can't show you that. But whenever you turn it on, I mean, you just know it's ready to go. You just know. And so with all that power, with this great blade, I'll go ahead and say the only con to this thing is it didn't come with a charging dock. And honestly, the way that TPOB is doing stuff nowadays, my guess is whenever he runs out of these, the ones that he's already done, he'll probably come up with one with a charging dock. That would not surprise me at all. Because I think that he sees the importance of that. Whenever I made my comment before about the Troll, he messaged me in the comments and was like, dude, by the way, we only got like 200 of these left. Once they do, they're going to come with the Psycho Blade, which that's what they should do. Come with that Psycho Blade. But they're going to come with the Psycho Blade and a charging stand. My guess is he's probably trying to work on something like that for this too, because I'll go and say this is a must grab. Must grab. And the more I've used those tools, now look, not all of his stuff do I think is top of the line premium equipment. But that's for me. Hit the mic again.
Mike Tyson.
I feel like if you hit me, I would probably love it.
But that's my opinion. That's my opinion based off what I like. However, I will say this. Grabbing this trimmer, the Phantom, as your finesse fading clipper, because I do like that one better than the Yeti. But if you've got that, the Troll clipper, and this, I mean, you've got a bulk remover, you've got a finesse clipper, and then you've got this crazy, crazy good trimmer. You can have your entire kit be TPOB if you want. If you want to support a barber and you're all about that barber life, trying to make sure that we keep the barber money in the barber world, I mean, that's a good way to go, guys. Yeah, you grab the Phantom, you grab the X, and you grab the Troll clipper, you've got a great starting kit right there. And honestly, if there's any barber instructors, any barber schools watching this right now, that's what you should do for your starting kits. Don't just throw a Super Taper or a Sterling 4. Don't just throw that at people. Don't just do that. Get them a good kit that doesn't break the bank for the schools, but also at the same time gives them quality tools to learn off of. Because here's the thing, I don't think this is the be-all, end-all for trimmers. I mean, gosh, every new trimmer I try is my favorite. But I just don't know how you can get better than these two. And I mean, as far as, innovations to come, who knows? but better. This right here is the one, guys. Honestly, you should have just called it the TPOB Badass. I don't know. It's great. So, guys, oh yeah, and also, if you didn't know, I got the black one because that's just more me, but it also comes in slime green. So, do with that as you will. Well, guys, that's my review for the X. I appreciate you watching this. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. Let's keep that comment section humble and helpful. And as always, I'll check you on the next one.
Will you teach me to football?
Sure, we'll teach you to football, won't we, caretaker?
Hey, I'll teach you anything. Just don't eat me.